And I'm starting a Facebook Live. Okay, I think we're doing good. Okay, great. So we're on well, hang on, gang, 1 second. I don't know if it's recording. All right, Julie, hang on. I'm having a technical problem here. Live video must be 4 seconds or longer. Okay. I don't think the Facebook Live is working, so, or maybe it is. I don't know, but now hang on 1 second, gang. Just give me a little second here. Okay, I guess I just dropped my phone, so we're definitely not doing Facebook Live today. Okay, hang on. This is fun. This is fun. All right. Good morning, gang. I know you can't. Let me. I'm going to unmute everybody, and everybody say hi when I do it.
We're here at 11.
Hi. I enjoyed it. Yes. Who was that? Great guy.
That was craziness. Okay, good. So let me click over to here. Let me close my email and click here. All right. So good morning, everybody. So welcome to the Power Hour. I want to welcome all the Power Agents and welcome the new Power Agents. And you know, we have people all over the world, so I want to just go over a couple of things. First of all, there is a lot of different ways you probably are signed in. You could be online. You could be you know, watching my screen, or you might have just called in. You know, the purpose of these calls every month is to help you get focused and recommitted, for me to teach you some stuff. But I'm going to be going over something. I'm very excited. I'm going to make an announcement. We have, oh, that's the wrong, wait, hang on one second. All right, let me just do this, the things in order. There's a lot of people that were just saying here that that they're from different states like Florida, Chicago. On the screen here, you'll see, if you, I'm coming to your area, some of you, like I'm coming to Florida, I'm coming to Chicago next week and Wisconsin next week. If you go to that website, poweragentseminar.com, you'll see where I'm coming when it's live. I'm going to be in July. We're going to be in Dallas, Miami, Virginia, South Carolina, Ohio. So poweragentseminar.com is the website. So if you go there, you can see what city I'm coming to. I'd love to see you, so make sure you come. You say hi to me, come up to me. Some of you, I haven't seen your faces as Power Agents, so I'd love to see Power Agents when I'm in the cities. All right, so now I have an announcement. We have a big change here at Power Headquarters, huge change. What we normally do is every month we do these calls. And here is the major change. Instead of us doing these calls monthly, we're going to now do it weekly. If you're all unmuted, I would say, everybody say, ooh, so make believe I can hear you, ooh. Now, so it's going to be the same time, it's going to be the same conference call number, but let me tell you the little difference here, why we're doing this. Over the past few months, we've been practicing not practicing, but we've been experimenting with doing webinars where I'll teach a specific topic of real estate or a specific something. There's not too much interaction. It's not coaching. It's where there's a one-on-one going back and forth. It's me teaching a specific topic, okay? And so these calls have been a combination of that. These monthly calls to the Power Agents have been, I'm going to teach you something and also open it up to questions. I decided to separate the two. So we're going to, every month moving forward, I'm going to do a live webinar where I'm going to cover a specific topic, and we'll have handouts and all that. But these calls are going to be weekly. I'm not going to share my computer screen like we're doing now. We're not doing Facebook Live. It's because the technology sometimes can be a pain in the butt. It gets in the way. So we're going to just use the telephone call-in number where you can call in any Monday that you want. So the calls will be Monday. I don't have that on the screen. From 11 to noon. And ask me anything that you want for me to give you coaching. Now, here's the awesome thing about this. If, let's say, you're going through your week, Tuesday, Wednesday, or you had a bad weekend or you had a challenge, here's my suggestion, is that you write down whatever your challenge was in real estate, something you want to ask me. Use your phone. You know, if you've got, like, I have an iPhone and there's an app there called Notes, right? Write down your question, knowing that I'm going to be available for you Monday to give you this coaching on that specific thing. So every week you can get a shot in the arm, a little motivation, specific help, and everybody will hear it too, so that way we're helping other people at the same time. Now, of course, because this is additional work for me, there is going to be an additional cost, and that cost is free. See how I did that? Making it free. All right. So I'm very excited about that. Hang on a second. I think we got some feedback. Julie, is that you perhaps? Let me see. I have, oh, that's, no, I know who it is. Never mind. I fixed it. Okay. Now, so anyway, we're going to start that this coming Monday. And like I said, you'll just use the telephone number to call in. You will not have to use the website link. You will not be seeing a computer screen. That will be the webinars, and we will let you know when those webinars are, what the topic is. We're going to be using GoToMeeting, and GoToMeeting has a specific way of managing the webinars where you actually have to get your own designated link that's individual to you. So you will have to register for those so you can get that link. So we're very excited about that. Now, by the way, here's the next webinar we're doing. So on Thursday, June 21st, from noon to 1 Eastern Time, so the webinars are going to be an hour later than these weekly calls of 11. And how to double your income in 12 months or less is going to be the title, is the topic. And I'm going to go through, this is like halfway through the year, right? So I want to go over some strategies and ideas of what you need to do the next 6 months of your business. We're going to talk about some goal setting. We will talk about some listing techniques, you know, how to stay focused. We're going to talk about some money management stuff. And I did a seminar at the beginning of the year that talked about some of these items. So some of it we'll review to see how well you're doing with those and give you some other new strategies. So if you want to attend that webinar, June 21st from noon to 1, you need to go to realtorwebinar.com and register so you can get your dedicated link to the webinar. One of the things we're giving away at that webinar is this, I think it's about 20 pages. I'm not, Julie, do you remember how big the this ebook is? It's 6 steps to double your income in the next 12 months. I can't hear you, Julie. So, and by the way, anytime during this call, gang, if you want to ask me a question, just hit *6 on your keypad, and that will take you off mute, and then I'll be able to hear you. *6. Let me just check so make sure, because I want to make sure people can't hear anything. Thank you. Works a call. I'm getting no audio. Anyone having audio issues? All right, hang on one second. I'm going to unmute everybody. I just want to double check. Make sure you all can hear me. If you can hear me, say yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Thanks, gang. I heard the screaming yeses. All right. So if you guys are having problems being able to hear, just call back in or log back in. Thank you, Asha, for telling me all is good. All right. So anyway, 6 steps to double your income in the next 6 months. It's an ebook that we're going to give you as a gift. When you sign up for the webinar, you'll be on the webinar, you'll be able to download that ebook. All right, here's the next thing. Let me just see here. Give me a second. Okay, listen. I'm a little all over the place because I got a lot of great things to share with you. So I'm excited about it. We're doing these weekly conference calls for you. This is something we just finished yesterday for you. And I'm going to escape here because I want to show you some of the actual pages. So, gang, what we created for you as a power agent is this book for children. Well, it's actually for parents, but it's for children. You know, one of the things that I know, and a lot of you that have been with me for a while, you know that I have an affection for children and their mental well-being. And one of the things I know about children when they're making a move in their life, you know, from one house to a new home, that could be very stressful for a child. And unfortunately, they don't have the tools to articulate how stressful it might be. So things might seem okay on the outside, but it really isn't. So what we created for you is this book that you can give to a parent, how to make the moving easier on kids. And there's 8 ways to get kids excited. Those of you who can see my screen, I'm going through the book that we created for you. Make a family wish list. Let me see if I can share something with you that will be really cool. Let the child map out their new room. Bring home paint swatches so your child can choose colors. Then make it an art project. Have her paste snapshots of her bed and furniture onto a sheet of construction paper. Pack a treasure box. I like this one. Give your child their own packing box that they can decorate with stickers and put their favorite things in that box. Take it in the car with you so they can keep it close with them. So there's some of the things that we gave you is based on research of psychology for children and stuff. And I told my team this warms my heart that we did this because I believe it'll help children, and that's part of my behind-the-scenes goal that I have in my life. So now, let me tell you how to use this as a listing tool. Now, by the way, I'm going to point something else out in this book. It has a copyright on there, and sometimes people ask us if it's copywritten, can we use it? Yes, I'm giving it to you as a power agent to feel free to copy it and print it out and bring it to, Kinko's or something if you want to bind it. It's a PDF. The back page is pretty light there for you, so you can add your contact information, drop it into the PDF and print it out. So, you kind of make it like your book. Now, I'll tell you where to get this in a second, but here's how I would use this. How I would use this is 2 ways. Number one, when you go on a listing appointment, if you have the seller and they have children, you can explain to them, sometimes how moving can be traumatic for children. In the beginning of the book, I explained moving to a new home may be stressful for you, but it's even tougher on your children. We've got tons of tips to turn into a fun adventure for the whole family. Children feel powerless when you tell them we're moving. They usually don't have any input in the decision, says Laura Collins, a social worker and author. So involve them in as many decisions as you can. So you can explain, so you can read that to a homeowner, you can explain to a homeowner. There's been a lot of research done on this for children that they, sometimes they can't articulate it. So what I've done is I have this book. I'm part of a program, an educational program. This is one of the things that they produce for us. Has some really cool ideas in it, and I just want to share with you. So gang, going on a listing appointment where there's children involved, this is a great icebreaker. That's number one. Number two, you can really run with this. You can actually make more copies of this and give it to attorneys that they can give to their clients as a gift that when they're representing a buyer or seller. Of course, the other place to use this is when you're working with buyers and you meet them and you know they have children, give that to them as a gift. So there's multiple uses for this thing that we gave you. Now, where is it going? Where are we going to put it? Because we just finished it last night. It's going to be under Classroom, and then when you go to Classroom, we're going to have it under both the Playing with Buyers section and also with Listing Appointments. So we're going to have it both places for you because it can be used both. Which brings me to something else I want to show you. I'm going to open up the call in a few minutes to the coaching, but I just want to show you some of these new things that we put on here for you. There's another thing here at the top of the website, and it says, have a suggestion. So I told my office what I wanted to do because we want to really help you guys in your career, right? And I want to know what works for you, what doesn't work for you. So there's a suggestion box. It says have a suggestion. I actually would like it to say suggestion box. So we have a suggestion box for you where if you see anything on the website as you're using it and you find that you would like to improve it or change it for you to make it easier for you to use it, use the suggestion box in the upper right-hand corner, fill it out, send it to us, and we will get on it. So this will be a suggestion box that will actually be read, and because we're designing this website to help you. Now let's go back to something else I want to show you. If you go into Classroom, one of the things that we added recently is we added this tab. We call these tabs. It says What's New. So anytime we add something new, it'll go into the category about buyers or listing appointment. But if you just want to see what's new for the month, you'll click on What's New. And for example, the 6-step home buying process, one of the webinar I'm going to do in July is actually going to teach how to use this. So that's going to be for you. Let me show you some other stuff. We have a net worth calculation form, how to get clear about what your net worth. I'm going to talk about this on the next webinar coming up this next week. And then let me see something else. I don't want to go through all of these, but there is a, hold on. Oh, there's Smile Stops for June. These are suggestions of things that you can do to drop off when you meet, you know, when you're working your farm area, if you want to mail something out. So we do this every month for you. So that's June. But there's something else I want to show you. If this is the one, we created these infographics. Julie in our office creating that, she does an awesome job. When you need a little more space in your togetherness, I can help. And these infographics, gang, are pictures that you can post in social media. You know, and we're giving you, I'll show you one thing here. Let me go to on the screen here. And, oh gosh, hang on one second, gang. Technology. So, is this it? No, here it is. Okay. So, this is just some of the infographics that we've done over the past 30 days. Each one of these little boxes, these are things that are designed in a shape that would work great on Facebook or Instagram. And of course, when you share this motivational real estate quote or this real estate tip, it's associated with you because you're posting it, right? So it's another way to promote yourself. And we put the Power Agent logo on there for you because you're a Power Agent. And so there's a plethora of these little, I love these. And I'm going to tell you something, how we use social media in our company. We use this software called Buffer, B-U-F-F-E-R. And actually, I'm showing you behind the scenes. I don't normally show the behind the scenes stuff. So let's go to Buffer, and I will show you what we do. For those of you that actively follow us on social media, I'm going to show you what Buffer looks like. Over to the left, these are all our social media accounts, right? And if I go to my Twitter account, which is already highlighted, you're going to see I have these motivational quotes like Golf says, treat people as they were what they ought to be, and you'll help them to become what they are capable of being, which is a very deep quote here. Les Brown, you don't have to be great to get started, but you do have to get started to be great. I love it. And so here's my point. If I scroll through this, or maybe I'll even use the calendar, you will see these are all of the posts, the ones in gray, that I've already done, and these are all of the posts that are going to be done. So my point here is, gang, I use Buffer as a way to schedule my posts. And let me see if I can show you something that's more visual. This is our Power Agent group, and let's go to here. And you'll see this is an article that I'm going to be sharing tomorrow. This is a video that I'm sharing on Friday. So here's another article that we're sharing. So my point here, gang, is Buffer is a great place to schedule your social media marketing in advance. So you're not sitting at your computer every morning trying to post something. So what I would do if I were you, I would go into, I would go into the powerprogram.com membership site and find all of these infographics that we created for you, download them onto your computer, You might even create a folder on your computer that's called infographics, right? And when you go to the Power Program, which I might as well do that so I can show you, here is that infographic. What I would do is right-click on the infographic, save image as, and then I would save the time to move up infographic, and post it in one of my folders called infographics, and then I would go to Buffer and schedule a bunch of infographics. Julie, are you still there with me, Julie?
I am.
Julie, I just noticed something, though, on this infographic, right? When I go to Save As, you want to save it as a PNG. And I don't know if that's a good idea, if it should be maybe a JPEG or something like that, because I don't know, will Facebook take a PNG? You follow me?
It will.
It will?
It
okay,
will.
Great.
Mm-hmm.
Then for those of you who don't know what a PNG is, it's a really high-resolution clip art. That's all that means. I just want to make sure. Okay, Julie, as long as you know that works, then we're good. Okay, so there's a lot here. There's a lot here. Oh, the Kelly Blue Book. Some of you have seen me do the Kelly Blue Book technique. We uploaded that this month. Okay. So that's it for the website. Let me just see what else we've got. Let me go to my slides, and then I'm going to open up the call to coaching calls. So I put my sweater on because it was cold out today, but now I'm sweating while I'm doing the seminar because I'm so excited. And all right, so I love this for you guys, the kid thing. I told you about the suggestion box. This month's Power Agent magazine is George Rosario. Now, George Rosario, let me show you this guy, what he did here. Give me a second. I'm trying to find the Power Program here. Right there, classroom. Oh, no, monthly sessions for George. So every month, gang, as you know, we're doing these interviews, and there's recordings. And so George, the magazine, if I open up his magazine, I want to show you something. So this is George's magazine. Now, what George did one month, we interviewed him last year. He took this magazine, and he was really great at promoting it on social media. So I wanted to interview him this time, and he gave, if you'll see, those of you can see the screen, it says his Power Agent Magazine marketing plan. I had him break down what did he do to promote the fact that he was on the cover of the magazine. This is a really good model to use in anything that you're promoting, any news, anything that's great that's happened in your career, because he got a tremendous amount of social media play. People were liking it, people were commenting it, and I was watching it. That's why I wanted to interview him. So this month's interview is transcribed, but of course, gang, you can also listen to the interview when you go to the monthly sessions. You'll find where you can actually listen to the audio recording, and you can download that recording, and that's right here. So June interview with George. Okay, what else do we got? I'm almost done for us to open up the call. We talked about that. What's new? I gave you an example of that. Okay, I'm done with my slides. Great. Now, we're going to open up the call to coaching. And how are you doing, Julie?
We're doing good.
Okay, good. I'm so excited, gang. There's so much stuff for you. Now, Millie Tatora, if you're on the call, Millie, I want you to hit *6 to take yourself off mute. Millie, are you there? *6.
Yes.
Okay, hi, Millie. I can hear you. You there, Millie?
Yes. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, darling. Now, Millie, so let me just read your question and then tell me if there's anything we have to add to it. So please discuss what when a prospective buyer comes to an open house and they have a house to sell, how do you convert that into a listing appointment? Sometimes it's awkward and they're not too quick to invite you over. So that's a great question, Millie. So here's what I would do is when you have a buyer come over and they have a house to sell, I would, of course, show them the property, tour the property with them, and then at some point I would say, you know what I like to do, and let's say you're the buyer, I'd say, Millie, what I like to do, if it's okay with you, is I like to come over and see your house. And here's why I like to do that. There's 3 reasons. Number 1 is that it'll help us based on the price that your house would sell for. That's going to show us how much cash that we have to buy a new house. And based on that cash and based on the price range you're in, we're going to figure out what the monthly payments are going to be. So that's really one of the major reasons, is to find out what price range we're going into and what our monthly payments will be. Here's the second thing. There may be a price that you want for your home. And based on the price that you want, we can then look at how, excuse me, how long is it going to take to get that price that you want. And the reason why that's important is because based on how long it's going to take, we need to know that in order to coordinate what the closing of the new home once you find it. But here's the third reason why I like to come over and see your house, and to me this is the most important, is I like you to take me through your house and point out to me everything you like about it and everything you don't like about it. And in doing that, Millie, that will really give me a better picture in my mind what that perfect house looks for you, because I'll know your likes and your dislikes. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so that's how I would turn a buyer into a listing appointment. Does that help you?
Definitely, yes. Thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome, Millie. Do me a favor, put yourself back on hold with star 6, and we're going to go to Elaine Weinberg, who emailed me in advance. Elaine Weinberg, if you're on the call, and then I'm going to go to Ann Gross. So, Elaine, hit star 6 to take yourself off mute, and then I'll be able to talk.
Morning, Darryl.
Is this Elaine?
It is I.
You're just so excited and enthusiastic, Elaine. I love it.
I am. I can't wait to see you in Chicago this week.
Are you coming? Are you coming?
Oh, yes, and I'm bringing people with me.
Oh, well, then you just better come up and give me a big hug, okay?
I will.
All right, good.
I love you, Darryl.
What's that?
I said I love you.
Oh, you're sweet, Elaine. Thank you. I love you too, darling. Well, listen, this was a great question. And I felt, yeah. So, Elaine, let me read everybody the question because this is, gang, this is really good. So, Elaine's got a property that she listed in a particular area of Illinois. It's called North Shore Properties. It's on 2.5 acres. The homeowner came down $114,000. Elaine emailed and sent out flyers and postcards to 2,000 agents in that area, announcing the new price. And you did an open house and nobody showed up. Is that right, Elaine?
That is right.
Oh, that must have been painful. You were told by a broker in your same company. Is that right?
Yes. She's in another office, but she's in the same organization.
All right, so it's the same organization, but the broker is in that area. You're not in that area. And that broker said because you're not in that area, none of the other brokerages are going to show your listing because there's probably a certain amount of resentment. Is that right?
Correct.
Now, the thing, though, about this listing is that these owners have been family members. They've known your family, or both families have known each other for 65 years, and you're doing this independent appraisal report. So, Elaine, there are places that if an out-of-town broker lists a listing, that the other brokers will be pissed and resent that, which is, negative marketing. Now, we could argue, well, hell, a sale is a sale. Who does it matter where the brokerage is from, as long as they got a buyer for it? Why wouldn't they sell it? But unfortunately, that still does happen. It's a weird form of agent discrimination. And so here's what I would tell you. I was thinking hard about what suggestions I would give to you, Elaine. And here's my suggestions. Number 1, and perhaps the most important, is to change the remarks of the listing and somehow work in there that this family is friends of your family for the past 65 years.
Great.
To help you love that suggestion, right?
Yes.
Now, here's how I would do that, though, to make it not so obvious what you're trying to do. you've got to tweak this. I'm not the writer in my organization, so when it comes to writing, I defer to Julie. But it would be something like, in the remarks, I would say, I may be biased, and then in parentheses explain, my family's known this seller for the past 65 years, close comma. So I may be biased, explain why you're biased, but I think this is one of the most beautiful houses on the market. Are you following me, Elaine?
Yes.
So I don't want to make it so obvious, like by saying, hey, you brokers, I know you're pissed, but let me explain to you why I got the listing, right? So I would do something like, hey, I might be biased because I've known this family for 65 years, but this is a beautiful house, here's why, and then explain it. The second thing I would do, Elaine, is I said this on the last conference call that, we've been looking at investment properties for the past few months for a couple of reasons why. We're planning on opening up something to help the community, whatever. So I've been really frustrated by looking at other agents, and any of my Long Island agents, I hope you're paying attention. It's just horrific, some of the listing information or lack of information I see on these MLSs. I see horrible photos. I see photos without bedrooms. I see, just 2 photos, and they're of a toilet. The remarks are horrible, and there's fields that are left blank. So, Elaine, what I'm saying is make sure you've crossed all your how does that expression go? Dot all your I's and cross your T's. Make sure your listing is impeccable with good photos, good descriptions, clear descriptions. Otherwise, you're going to give agents another reason to be pissy about your listing. You see, this is a stupid agent. Look how she did this and look how she did that. Are you following me, Elaine?
Yes.
The third thing I would do, darling, is I would call every broker in that marketplace, the broker owner, and I would have a heart-to-heart real quick with them. And the call might be like this: hi, Elaine, this is Darryl Davis from Power Realty. Listen, Elaine, the reason why I was calling is because I don't know if you've seen, there's a listing that came out recently in your area. Now, I'm out of town, and I know how our industry is when a broker's out of town, that sometimes people can take offense of that in the local market. But I just want to let you know, Elaine, that I've been friends with this family for over 65 years, and I really wanted to work with them for them, and I really would appreciate your support, anything that you can do to just kind of highlight this at an office meeting or something like that, because I think it really is a good property. It does have great value, and I'm really committed to helping my friends get their property sold. So I would prospect the brokers to then push it out to their agents. All right?
Yes.
Did this help you, darling?
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. And I did have the photos taken professionally.
Great.
And then we redid the photos because now it's summer, spring, beautiful, wooded area. So I did that. But I love the 2 suggestions that you gave me. Thank you, Darryl.
Oh, you're so welcome, Elaine. I look forward to seeing you next week, hon.
Yes. Thank you.
All right, so you can hit *6 to put yourself back on mute, Elaine. And Ann Goss, I'm sorry. Are you on the call, Ann Goss from Sipsy Climb? If you are, hit *6. That'll take you off mute, and then I'll be able to hear you. If not, I'm just going to record my answer to you so you can listen to it later. Okay, gang. By the way, that's one other thing we're not going to be doing with these weekly calls. I'm going to start the weekly coaching calls this coming Monday. You don't have to email me your questions in advance because it's going to be so many calls that you'll have access to me every week. Just call in, ask your question, and we're going to do that at 9. Now, listen, if by 11:30 nobody's on the call, I'm not going to stay on the phone. So if there's nobody that has questions that week, so make sure you call in before 11:30 because I'm going to hang up. All right. I'm not going to waste my time if people don't need me, Jules, Okay, well, Ann's question, she had a great question. She said, I've always taken 6-month listings. I never had a problem, but I had a seller confront me, and he wanted to give me a 3-month listing. she said, I got the 6 months, but I needed a better response. So gang, here's let me give you a couple of suggestions. And for Ann, if you're on a listing appointment and you want to get a 6-month listing, the homeowner only wants to give you 3, and they promise you they'll extend the listing. I actually did a video on this. We'll be posting on the website, but let me go through it now real quick. One of the things I'd say to the homeowner, well, Mr. and Ms. Hunter, here's the challenge with that. Let's say you hire a contract, you want a contractor to come in and put an extension onto your property, and they tell you the extension is going to cost this much and it's going to take 6 months to do it. And if you tell the contractor, well, I want you to do it for the same amount of money but do it quicker, you got to do it in 3 months. You know, a contractor's not going to take that job, because here's why. He's going to start the job. He's never going to finish it. You know, have the studs, he'll have the sheetrock, but you may not have the roof and the finishing touches. And then all of a sudden another contractor comes in and finishes the job when they did all the hard work and the groundwork up front and didn't get paid for it. So, you know, I really can't do that. I'm telling you, based on the price that you want, this is how long it's going to take. Now, if you want it to take quicker, the best way for something to sell quickly, and I don't have to explain this to you, is you've got to give it away for less money. So if you only want me to take a 6-month job and do it in 3, in order for me to promise and guarantee that I'm going to have it done in 3 months, then we have to actually ask less on the list price. So you tell me, what do you want? A shorter time and less money, or a little bit longer time for more money? You tell me, that's your choice. That's one way to do it, gang. The other analogy, well, it's not an analogy, but it's a great way, and this always worked for me. In New York, the listing, from the time someone goes to contract, it would take maybe 2 months for it to close. So I would say to the homeowner, Mr. and Mrs. Hunter, I will probably get that property sold. That's what I'm working towards, to get it in contract by the 3rd month. But what happens in real estate legally, by the way, gang, what I'm about to say is true nationally, is that an agent earns their commission once they bring a buyer who's ready, willing, and able. In other words, Mr. and Ms. Hannah, in this service industry, technically, a real estate agent earns their commission the moment a house goes into contract. Now, what we do, though, is that you don't pay us a contract. We defer it till closing. But technically and legally, we've earned it at contract. So what I like to do, what my company likes to do, is we like to have the listing agreement in effect until we actually get paid. So even though I'll work towards getting us in contract by month 3, the reason why we go with 6 months is just an extra 30 days as a cushion, and hopefully all will be said and done within 6 months. So it's up to you. I can do a shorter term listing if you want, but you just have to tell me, when do you want to pay my commission, at contract or at closing? And we can do whatever you want. So that was, well, I don't want to pay you a contract. All right, then let's just stick with the 6 months. So that, Ann, is how I used to handle that work really well. Okay, now those were the emails that I got in advance. So I'm going to open up the call to questions. Anybody have a question so I can give you some one-on-one coaching? And in order for me to hear you, you've got to hit *6 on your keypad and give it a second for that to kick in. So who has a question? Say your name and where you're from. Don't all jump at once. Hey, Julie, I think we're going to be lonely on these Monday calls.
I think we've got some shy folks. We do have one that's an agent that's been in for 6 months, is working hard, but only has 1 listing. How do I get more listings? And that's been echoed by a couple of agents. How do I get more listings?
All right, Julie, thank you for that. So those of you that are being shy, if you want, Julie will ask the question for you when you type it. I heard somebody who came off mute, but let me answer this question first. And I think that was from BB, right? So BB, gang, if for any of you that, you know, are new agents and you're struggling, let me tell you something. You know, it could be a struggle the first year. And the reason why it could be a struggle is because we can get so overwhelmed with all of the stuff that we've got to try and figure out about doing this business. There's the listing side, the selling side, the technology side, the MLS side, the knowing the value of property, blah, 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 blah. It can be really overwhelming. So what's real important that you understand that for the newer people is to take it one step at a time. Don't beat yourself up. Be patient. But every day, at the end of the day, you've got to ask yourself the question, did I do anything to help get a seller to list with me? That is perhaps the most important thing you can do. You know, in one of the 3 books that I wrote, How to Make $100,000 Your First Year Real Estate. It's not a great book, so I'm not encouraging people to buy it. I'm being honest with you. It's not a great book. It's an okay book. The best book is the Power Agent book. Everybody should get the Power Agent book. That book is awesome. The 100K, not so much. But one of the things I did say in that book that is really good is I tell new salespeople you really should not work with buyers at all until you got your 6th listing. I'm going to say that again. There's hang on one second, gang. There's a little bit of feedback. That's all right. I'm not going to deal with it. What I just said is really important. I want you to get this. That especially for a new agent, your energy should be focused on building inventory, opening up the shoe store, which means having a good listing appointment, putting together a listing conversation book, getting Red-X, prospecting, dialing, having conversations. Every single day, you should be passionate about getting listings, which means you should not be showing buyers, and don't justify it. Well, if I show buyers, a buyer could have a house to sell and I could get a listing. Or if I show buyers, I'm going to understand the real estate market better, blah, 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 blah. Those are all justifications in my opinion. If you eat, sleep, and drink every friggin' day to get a listing, I'm going to tell you something. You're going to get 6 listings, then you can start showing property. Because all the other stuff, you got 168 hours in a week. And that includes sleep, and that includes your family, and that includes yourself. So however many hours you put towards real estate, if it's 40, 50, 60 hours, if you spend an hour taking a buyer out, that's an hour that you could have been prospecting to generate a listing lead. Now, the one last thing on this, if you're really not confident in the listings, then partner up with somebody in the beginning. Your first 6 listings, share it with another experienced agent in the office. You shake the trees, prospect, get appointments, and then have an experienced agent go with you so you can watch them, have a listing conversation, or bring your broker. But that's my advice for that agent, Julie. All right, somebody else came off hold. Who was that? Somebody have a question that you wanted to say. *6, take yourself off.
Hi, I have a question.
Who is this?
This is Eunice Robertson, Cary, North Carolina.
Hey, I'm sorry, what's your first name, darling?
Eunice.
Eunice?
I was in one of your conferences you held in Cary, North Carolina.
I love Cary, North Carolina.
Yeah, you did a good job too. Very impressive.
Thank you, ma'am.
I have a question. I don't know if you can answer it or not about policies and company policies.
Okay.
Tell me a little bit about what you think should be in a company policies as far as agents are concerned with the relationship to the company. Just a short list.
What do you mean the relationship with the company? I'm not sure understanding that. Should you put in there like their fee, their payment fee? Should you put in there their requirements if they do provisional brokers or if they just hire brokers? Their philosophy. What are some of the things that should go in that policy? Well, I think, Eunice, that office policy is a breathing, living thing, which means that it's always growing and changing based on the company. And you know, if a new company starting out writing something, as they bring on agents, they're going to learn things. They're going to want to make improvements and changes. That's number one. Number two, if a company's been around for a while, with 10 or 20, and then there are now 40, 50 agents, that policy probably is going to have to change. But to get real specific, that would be hard for me to say. But to answer your specific question, should it have in there what the fee arrangement is with the agent? Yes. You know, how listings are handled? Yes. There should be an exit exit agreement, I don't mean the company. I mean when an agent exits out, when an agent leaves a company, what is that policy? You know, does the listing stay with the broker? And how is that handled? Is it assigned to another agent, and what is that agent paid, a referral fee or whatever? So I do believe the more things that are written out, the clearer things are, the less confusion there is. And when there's any kind of bickering in the office, then everybody can just go to what's the rule, and that's it. What's the rule? And of course the rule has to be enforced. You know, we can see even in our government when there's rules or lack of rules, and when rules are not enforced, you know, that creates problems. So, did that answer your question, hon?
Pretty much. I thank you very much. Have a blessed day.
Oh, you have a blessed day too. Thank you for your question. Thank you so much. All right, somebody else who's got a coaching question for me. Hit *6 and I'll take you off. Take you off mute. And if that doesn't happen, Julie, do you have a question for me for some people?
I do. I work in a very active area, but work with a small company. Having just lost a listing to a neighbor across the street, would you ask that neighbor why they didn't list with you?
Oh, that's a great question. I actually talked about this on another video. We didn't post it yet, Julie, right? But it speaks directly to that. Who did that question come from, Julie?
I only see guests. I don't see names.
Oh, you don't see names. Okay. So what do you do if you lose a listing to another agent? Do you ask that homeowner why you lost it? One of our power agents by the name of Margaret Troutman, I had just asked her this question on one of our interviews. She's on one of our interviews, Margaret. Anyway, here's what she does. And by the way, this agent produces tens of millions of dollars in business a year. I think it's actually maybe 6 figures. But anyway, so Margaret says to me, this is what she does. She never calls the homeowner and say, can you just help me so I can improve? Why did you choose the other broker versus me? She said, I never do that because they're never going to tell you the truth. They're going to lie to you. So here's what she does. Most of the time, the listing she lost to another agent is because the other agent told the homeowner a price the homeowner wanted to hear. Therefore, it's not going to sell because it's overpriced. Knowing this, this is what Margaret does. When she goes on a listing appointment and she thinks she's getting it and winds up that the homeowner lists with a competitor, she'll call the homeowner up and say, hey, listen, I just saw the listing come out with BS Realty, and I just wanted to congratulate you. I'm so happy that you made the choice to work with a realtor. I thank you for giving me the opportunity to come over. I'm going to see what I can do to sell this property. If I have some buyers, I'll be definitely wanting to show the property, but I just wanted to call and congratulate you. And that's it. And then when she got off the phone, these homeowners get off the phone, Margaret would tell me, the homeowner would be like, geez, wait a second, what? Did we make the right choice? Maybe we should chose, but that was such a classy move. So it's a brilliant, brilliant strategy. That's what you do. That's number one. Is there something else I want to? Oh, as far as it being a small company, for those of you that are with a small company, here's how you can handle that with a homeowner. Is say, you know what, Mr. and Mrs. Hanahana, there's a lot of advantages working with a big company, and there's also a lot of advantages working with a smaller company. But I will tell you, I had a choice as a licensed agent in the state of Hanahana to work at any company I wanted to. As a matter of fact, let me show you something, and then I would show the homeowner some recruiting letters that I might have gotten from larger companies. I won't mention any names, but just say that I had a letter from, this franchise and a letter from that company. And then I'd say, so here's large companies that are actually trying to recruit me. They want me. Now, why did I not choose them and I went with Power Realty? Here's why. Because there's an important distinction I learned about marketing, and that is bigger is not always better. As a matter of fact, bigger sometimes is a bad thing for a homeowner. Why? Because just to get some kind of reaction, to have something being taken care of, if there's a problem, whether it's in marketing, whether it's in putting a deal together, in a big corporate structure, it can actually slow things down. Here's my point. The Titanic, it didn't help them that they were bigger. As a matter of fact, if the Titanic was a little PT U-boat, they could have been more reactive, and made the correction quicker to avoid an iceberg. So, Mr. and Mrs. Hunt, I'm like a PT boat. I'm going to be right on the field with you, belly to belly, face to face, all the time, making sure that we're very responsive to what we need to do in order to get the property sold and the money that you're looking for. So, gang, that's how I would deal with if you're a small company. Now, if you're a bigger company, I don't even have to give you techniques for that because it's easier to validate the largest of a company, the number of agents, the number of offices, the budget. You know, those are easy. It's the smaller companies that sometimes they need more analogies, and that's my suggestion there. Okay, does somebody else have a question for me? Julie, if there's a big pause, you can just jump in.
Awesome. Just more listings. How do we get more listings, like now listings?
Well, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but gang, well, first of all right, let me reiterate. So I don't want to answer that question because it's going to be redundant when we go to, for those of you that want to know the answer to that, you need to go to the Realtor webinar and sign up for the webinar because I'm going to cover for an hour the best strategies to double your income, and I'm going to talk about listing lead sources for the third and fourth quarter. I'll touch on it real briefly right now, which is, I'm sorry to sound like a broken record, but FSBO's expireds are absolutely the best because that's now business. But the other thing is that we're pushing more is getting out in the streets more, whether it's door knocking, going to garage sales, like walking your neighborhood and talking to people. It's a nicer weather. It's a nicer time of year. There's a lot of support material we give you to help you do that. But I will always answer the top two best now business strategies is FSBOs and expireds. And then after that would be old FSBOs, old expireds, people who tried selling 6 months ago. There's nothing better than those two, gang. And most agents are not working it. Okay. What else, Jules? Or anybody else? Wait, Julie, wait. Anybody else have a question? Star 6, it will take you off mute. If not, Julie's.
Hi, Darryl.
Who is it?
This is Elaine from Chicago. Getting back to what Margaret does when she loses a listing.
Yes.
How does she get around the fact that if the homeowner says, "Oh, that's great, Margaret. Thank you so much," Margaret's not going to be representing the homeowner. She's going to be representing the buyer. So
yeah.
So how is she going to get around the homeowner feeling like, oh, now I got Margaret working for me too?
Elaine, she doesn't. No, she's just calling the homeowner, congratulating her for hiring a realtor, and if she has somebody, she'll bring the buyers over. That's it.
I know that, but a lot of times then the homeowner might think that now Margaret's going to help negotiate. She has a buyer, and now she'll help negotiate in benefit for the homeowner.
No, she won't. She won't think that.
No, I know she won't, but buyers in their brain think that we all work for them, and we don't anymore. We're not sub-agents of the homeowner.
Yeah,
if you're a buyer's broker, you represent the buyer. You're not representing the homeowner anymore.
Right. So how would anybody think that that's what I'll do it again, Elaine. You call somebody and you congratulate them for hiring a realtor.
Okay.
And then tell them if I have anybody that I think will be interested, I'll make sure to bring them by. That doesn't say anything about I'm going to work for you, I'm going to negotiate. I didn't say any of that.
No, I know you didn't say that. I was just thinking what goes through the mind of the homeowner.
Elaine, the homeowner's not going to think that either. I'm calling the homeowner, I'm congratulating them, and I'm going to see if I have buyers to bring by. That's it. You're making that up, Elaine. They're not going to think that at all.
Okay.
All right, good question, though, hon. All right, somebody else has got a question for me. Star 6, take yourself off mute. Anybody? I thought there was another one. Okay, Julie, what do we got?
I will be door knocking today in Bushwick, Brooklyn. I'm not skipping one door, not even the businesses. I will talk to everyone, even the birds and the puppies.
Okay. You see that?
I love it.
Those people from Brooklyn, those New Yorkers, look out. We're tough. That's good. So she's going to knock on every door. Now, whoever said they're going to be knocking on every door in Brooklyn and talking to everybody. That's awesome. Do me a favor and make sure you go to the Power Program website. I got to find it. I can't.
Darryl.
What's that? What? I heard somebody say something, right, Julie?
I did.
You did too. Okay. I think they just hung up very pissed. Make sure that you go to Classroom, and for those of you who are going to be door knocking, and go to that farming and self-promotion. In the farming and self-promotion, there's all the smile stops. So there's the smile stops for June. There's things that you can bring over as gifts. So pay attention to farming and self-promotion and get some ideas before you start hitting the street. Okay. Somebody else have a question? Yeah, go ahead.
I just want to say Thursday is actually Flag Day, so I know a lot of agents can get those little tiny flags, and they're using that when they're door knocking this week. So that's one of the ideas that's in the June Smile Stop.
Okay, I see that June 14th is National Flag Day, so deliver small flags. Okay, good. Very good. Scott, you were saying something else, Julie?
We had another agent that said, I don't feel right giving my business cards out at a garage sale, so they don't necessarily have to give business cards. You can give an item of value. You can just walk the neighborhood and introduce yourself. So what would you tell them for that?
Well, you know, that's great. First of all, there's so much stuff here. I would think that, let's just say that book for children about moving. So if somebody has a garage sale, and you can tell, listen, if you're thinking about selling, I have a book here if you have children, or look at one of these other value things you can drop off. There's just so much stuff in here. You might find it also under the listing presentation of things of value to drop off. I will tell you, though, what you could do is a neighborhood market report. So to me, this is a great standard thing to give as a value. And let me explain what that is. Julie, do we have that on the website yet? The over-the-phone market analysis? No, not the over-the-phone market analysis. Never mind. We don't have a piece for it because you don't need it. Gang, here's what it is. You can... Hang on, I'm going to mute everybody. 1 second. Julie, I had to put you back on mute, so you take yourself off. But gang, here's what it is. And Julie, let's actually create like a certificate that's called Neighborhood Market Report. Find out what neighbors have been paying for your property, for their property, and and some other statistics about the neighborhood. Is it on an upswing? School report, da-da. Now, gang, here's what the Neighborhood Market Report is. It's basically a free CMA, but we call it Neighborhood Market Report because it sounds better. People are interested to know what their neighbors paid for their home. So one of the things I would do, stopping off at garage sales, is saying, hey, I see you guys are doing a garage sale. I wanted to give you this gift. It's called the Neighborhood Market Report. If you're ever thinking about selling, this report will actually show you what buyers have been paying for homes, your neighbors, what they've sold their home for, and it'll also show you some really important statistics. That's really good. As a matter of fact, we think a homeowner should have this done once a year because it helps figure out the value of their home, and your home is your most important asset. So if you're ever interested, I can give you this Neighborhood Market Report. I can do it over the phone. I can stop by, whatever you want. So you give them a certificate to call you on this. They're not going to throw it away. They're going to hang it up on their refrigerator. And if they're doing a garage sale in order to sell, they're definitely going to call you and you'll strike up a conversation. So that's just one of the things that you can meet and greet a homeowner with at a garage sale. There's a whole bunch of other stuff on the website, but that's one of my favorites. Julie, are you there with me?
I am.
Yeah, so let's create that certificate for them, Julie, and
Yep.
let's do that today, if we can, and we'll put it on I keep clicking on monthly sessions. We're going to put that. We'll put that under farming. Yes, farming and self-promotion. Okay. All right. So listen, gang. Unfortunately, we have now hit 12 o'clock. I think we covered a lot on this call, telling you about a lot of new stuff. Now, wait, don't go anywhere. I see some of you hanging up. Stop it. Stay right there. I see you. I see people hanging up. So stop it. Couple of things I want to review. We're getting next Monday, 11 to noon. It's going to be the same conference call phone number, but we're not recording it and we're not doing screens, right? So you're going to go to this number. You see it right there. Those of you can see it on the screen. You're going to call that number. You're going to put in that code at 11 o'clock next Monday, and it'll be an opportunity for you to ask one-on-one questions. Now, I will tell you, because I'm going to do this weekly, the chances are the number of people on the call is going to be a lot less, because people are not going to call in every week. They're going to call in when they need coaching. So if you need coaching during the week, that'll be your time, and it could be awesome for you. So for 6 days, pay attention to what you need. Don't forget to go to realtorwebinar.com to sign up for that webinar that we're doing on June 21st, Thursday. We have a limited number of telephone lines, so make sure you do that right away. We're going to put up this. I'm very excited about this book for the kids. We're going to put that on the classroom for you. And what else? And don't forget to check out poweragentseminar.com to see if I'm coming to your city, because I love to see you. All right, that's it, gang. Listen, don't forget, we don't just help people buy and sell real estate. We help them get to the next level in their life. And the money that we make is a gauge as to how many lives we've touched. So go out there committed to making a difference in people's lives, and the money will follow. God bless you. Thanks for calling in. And until I talk to you next Monday, for those of you that call in, or Thursday at the webinar, don't forget to keep smiling. All right, I'm going to take everybody off mute so I can hear you.
Bye. Happy Monday. Happy Monday.